Hey, welcome to Fast Movie. In today's movie, we'll talk about a kid who has the power to talk to dead people. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and to watch until the end so you fully understand the story. Our film begins with a psychiatrist Malcolm and his wife Anna. They're celebrating a special occasion. Malcolm was able to obtain a certificate of appreciation for his efforts in child psychiatry. After they're done drinking wine in the basement, they decide to go to sleep. But suddenly Anna notices that someone broke into the house through the window. And then they were surprised by a psychopath in his 20s who was standing in the bathroom of their house. He starts shouting at Malcolm and tells him that he is tired of loneliness and has become afraid. He also mentions that Malcolm broke his promise and that things didn't get any better after his parents got divorced. At first, Malcolm didn't know who this person was, but as soon as he mentioned his parents, a name rang a bell. The man standing in front of him was Vincent. And while Malcolm was trying to calm down the situation, Vincent took a gun and shot Malcolm and himself. After the incident in the fall, Malcolm is studying the case of a child named Cole, who is 9 years old. He is an introvert and has divorced parents. And while Cole is going out of the house into the church, Malcolm is following him. He introduces himself to Cole and says that they had an appointment today. He asks Cole why he is wearing his glasses without lenses. Cole replies and tells him that it was for his father while he was playing with his little dolls, and that he likes to talk to dolls in Latin. Cole gets out of the church and goes back to his house and tells Malcolm that he will meet him again. On his way out, Cole picks up a small statue from the church. At night, Malcolm goes home and finds his wife sleeping. She has tissues in her hand. Malcolm then goes to the basement and takes a Latin dictionary to translate what Cole said to the dolls. He then discovers that Cole was actually praying to the Lord. The next day, Lynn, the mother of Cole, wakes him up to bring him breakfast and finds that his tie is not clean. So she goes to get another one and leaves the kitchen for a few seconds. When she comes back, she finds all the doors of the kitchen to be open. But the strange thing is that Cole didn't open those doors because he didn't have enough time to do so. Then Cole leaves, and he has persuaded a friend from his school to act in front of his mother like they're friends, so that his mother doesn't have to worry about him and doesn't think that he's an introvert. The school bell rings, and Cole is worried about entering, but he eventually does so. After the school day is over, Cole returns home to find that Malcolm is sitting with his mother and waiting for him. Cole looks at Malcolm and doesn't want to sit or talk to him, so Malcolm plays with him the reader's game. The idea of it is that if Malcolm guesses what Cole is thinking about, Cole will take a step forward, and if he makes a mistake, Cole will take a step backwards. The first thing Malcolm says is that when Cole's parents got divorced, Cole's mother went to a psychiatrist to help him, but her problem was not solved, and that is why Cole believes that Malcolm will not be able to help him either. We then see Cole taking a step forward, to which Malcolm says that Cole is afraid that his mother may have told secrets about him to Malcolm. Cole takes another step forward, until Malcolm says something wrong. He then goes backwards again and again, until Cole returns to his room and tells Malcolm that he is a nice person, but he will not be able to help him. Malcolm meets his wife Anna at the restaurant, while she is sitting alone. He tells her that Cole is behaving like Vincent and that they both have scratches on their skin, but Anna doesn't pay any attention to his words. She takes the bill, wishes him happy anniversary, and leaves. On the second day of Cole's way to school, Malcolm walks with him. Cole tells him that he doesn't tell his mother any secrets because he doesn't want her to think that he's weird, to which Malcolm replies that he is not weird and that he is a normal child, and nobody should tell him otherwise. But Cole looks at him without replying, and they continue walking. While Lynn is cleaning the house, she notices a strange thing. It is a picture of her son Cole hanging on the wall. Next to him is a white spectrum, and she finds hateful and evil notes written on paper. But these words cannot be written by a child of that age. When Malcolm comes home, someone knocks on the door. Anna talks to this person and he leaves shortly afterwards, but he looks as if he wanted to say something. Cole is in a history class in a school. The teacher talks about the history of the old school from 100 years ago and asks the students if anyone has an idea about what the school was used for before it was a school. Cole raises his hand and says that people were executed here and died. The students and the teacher look at him and are surprised. The teacher tells him that the school was a legal court, and in his defense, Cole says that maybe a person told him wrong information. The teacher continues to look at Cole while talking, and Cole starts screaming, and he says that he doesn't like when somebody is looking at him like that. He says that he should stop doing that and that his name is Stanley Stuttering. The teacher is shocked that Cole knows this information and asks him who told him that. Cole continues to say Stanley Stuttering. Teacher collapses and tells him to shut up. Malcolm goes home after his work to find that his wife has left the TV on. He can see their wedding tape playing while Anna is in the bathroom taking a shower. Malcolm notices that she uses antidepressant drugs, and he is surprised because she doesn't know why she would be using them. He then tries to go and open a certain door, but the door is locked and he is unable to find the key. The next day, Cole is at the birthday party of one of his schoolmates. And when Cole is sitting in the hall, he looks at a room on the second floor and hears someone calling for help, and this person cannot breathe. The children notice that Cole is afraid and is standing without moving. They bully him and lock him in the room from which the sound came. Cole continues to scream hysterically, and Lynn hears the sound of his screaming, despite the music of the party being very loud. She goes up the stairs and reaches to him and tries to open the door, and then finds him unconscious. She takes him to the doctor to check his condition, while Malcolm is with them at the clinic. The doctor says that he found wounds on her son's skin, so Lynn thinks that somebody at school is beating his son up. Cole is in the clinic bed and his mental condition is bad. Malcolm is trying to comfort him by telling him a bedtime story, but Cole interrupts him and asks him why he is sad. Malcolm replies that he can't talk to anyone about this topic and continues the story. He tells the story of a boy who reminds him of another boy, which means that he intends to talk about Vincent indirectly. He explains that if he knew how to help him, it would feel as if he helped the other boy as well. Cole then opens up to Malcolm and tells him something strange and terrifying. He is able to see dead people while he is awake, and he knows that he doesn't dream. These people are not in their graves or coffins. They are around him like living people, but they do not know that they are dead. He then asks Malcolm to be with him until he falls asleep. Malcolm comes out of the clinic after Cole falls asleep. He recorded their conversation. He finds out that Cole has split personality and hallucinations and psychotic disorder, and that he needs to enter a psychiatric clinic. Lynn takes her son Cole and goes home. While Cole is asleep, she puts him on his bed and takes his jacket off, but she notices that there is a cut on the back. So Lynn collapses and then examines her son's back. She calls the parents that were at the party and asks them to tell their children to not come close to her son. Another time, Cole wakes up because he wants to go to the bathroom. He's running through the corridor of his house because he's afraid of the dead. He notices someone walking in the corridor and enters the kitchen. It is a girl whose face is full of bruises. She tells him that he is not going to be hurt by anyone again. Another one screams and shows him her wounds, so Cole gets terrified and runs to sleep in a tent. Inside his tent, there are statues from the church, as well as the cross to expel the souls of the dead. The next day, Malcolm and Cole attend a party at a school, and as they're walking through the school corridor, Cole suddenly stops and sees a person. His wife and his son are dead, but he can't see what Cole sees, and tells him that there is nothing. Cole goes to his house and dines with his mother, and she tells him that she found the chain of the bee that belonged to her mother. She found this in the drawer of Cole's cupboard. She asks him why he took the chain from her cupboard and put it in his cupboard. But he says that he didn't do that. His mother panics and says that she is psychologically tired of what is happening and that she needs someone to help her. She begs him to tell her what he is going through and promises that she will understand him. She asks him the same question one more time. After he denies the answer, she gets upset and thinks that her son is lying, which is why she asks him to get up and not eat at all. On Cole's way to his room, he sees a dead child and says to him, "Come, I will show you something in the room." And his skull is open. His brain is visible from the back. So Cole is afraid and asks his mother not to grieve for him and that he wants to sleep in her room tonight. She tells him that she is not sad for him and hugs him and feels his tremor of fear. She begs him to tell her what is happening while hugging him. On the second day in the morning, the person who has been ringing the bell a few days ago appears. Anna gives him a birthday gift, which is a first copy of a book. He hugs her and thanks her, and as they're about to kiss each other, they are prevented by the sound of a window being broken. Malcolm appears outside, annoyed by what he saw. Malcolm talks to Cole and tells him that he's been trying to talk to his wife for a while, but she wouldn't say a word to him from the day of Vincent's party. Malcolm tells Cole that he wasn't able to save this boy, and that is why his wife doesn't love him anymore. So Cole asks him not to abandon him and give up, and that he is the only one who can help him. And while he's crying, he's asking if Malcolm believes Cole's words about the dead. Malcolm says that he doesn't think that he can answer this question yet. So Cole is wondering how is he even going to be able to help him if he doesn't believe him. Malcolm goes home and remembers Vincent's words before he died. He listens to all Vincent's recordings, and as he raises the volume, he hears the voice of an adult saying that he doesn't want to die whilst he's crying. This voice is asking somebody to help him, and Malcolm concludes that Cole is really able to communicate with the dead. Malcolm goes to the church quickly, and there he meets Cole by an accident. It appears that the dolls that Cole plays with actually have souls of soldiers who died in the war, and they communicate with him. Malcolm talks to him and tells him that the spirits he sees want to communicate with him and that they need Cole's help, so he must listen to them. Malcolm goes home and finds that the man who was hugging his wife this morning is out of his house. He gets into his car and moves. When Malcolm calls for him, he doesn't stop for him. And late at night, Lynn is having nightmares. Cole goes to calm her down, and she indeed feels a lot better. She goes back to sleep, and Cole returns to his tent. He suddenly finds a girl standing in front of him and crying while vomiting. Cole gets terrified and runs to the hall. He then calms down and goes back again. He finds the girl that is still there, so he asks her if she wants to tell him something and talk to him. The next day in the morning, Cole talks to Malcolm and tells him about what happened. They go together to the funeral of this girl, and they know that this girl has been sick for a long time. Once they enter her room, she suddenly appears from under the bed. She gives a box to Cole and tells him to deliver this box to her father. She explains to him that there is a videotape of her mother putting poison in her food. She wants her father to know why she died. So Cole exposes her at the funeral. The next day, Cole has a presentation show, and Stanley the teacher comes in and finds him talking to himself. In fact, he is talking to a dead woman whose body is half burned. Cole this time is not affected or afraid by what he is seeing. On the contrary, he is happy because he is able to help the souls rest. Salim and his knife, and Stanley asks him who he is talking to, and Cole tells him that he is practicing his text. Stanley starts talking about his first day at school and that there was a big fire in the school, and Cole says that he knows what he's talking about. Malcolm watches Cole's show. After a while, Cole returns to a normal child and deals with people naturally. Cole tells Malcolm that if he wants his wife to hear him, he can talk to her while she is sleeping, and that she will listen to him. This is when Cole tells them that he believes they will never see each other again, and that it is time to say goodbye to each other. Cole is with his mother in the car, and the road is crowded. He tells his mother that he is ready to tell her a secret. He knows that there was an accident and that there is a woman who died. She is standing next to their car now. Lynn tells him that he scares her, to which he replies that he is sometimes scared as well, and that the ghost asks him for help. He then asks his mother if she thinks he's weird, to which he replies that she doesn't think he's weird. She apologizes. He then tells her that her mother greets her, and she was the one who took the bead chain from the cupboard. He also mentions that his grandmother visits them sometimes, and that she wanted to tell Lynn that she attended a dance show that Lynn went to. She was watching her from behind the stage, and she was dancing like an angel. Cole also knows the answer that Lynn asked her mother on her grave, and the answer is always and every day. Lynn then collapses from crying, and Cole hugs her, but she is unable to speak. Malcolm goes home and finds his wife sleeping on the sofa while the TV is on. He approaches her and says her name, and while she's sleeping, she says how she misses him and asks him why he left her alone. Their wedding ring then falls on the ground, and another person's ring is on her hand. Malcolm looks at his hand and notices that he cannot find his ring either. He begins to remember Cole's words that he sees the dead. Malcolm then begins to comprehend the surprise that he is a dead person, and that's when he starts to understand why Anna doesn't talk to him anymore. He then remembers the day Vincent shot him and finds blood on his shirt. So he sits next to Anna again and says that he thinks he can leave now, and that the reason for his staying is to help Cole, so that he can make up for everything that happened with Vincent. And while sleeping, Anna says, "Good night, Malcolm. May your soul rest in peace."